Hi everybody! In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to use the Action Mode Constraint when steering tables in Tricentis Tosca. On the right-hand side of the page, you can see that I have opened a test automation obstacle. And on the left-hand side, I'm open to a project in Tosca where I have scanned that automation page, and I've created two test cases that I'm going to use now as demonstration. The first task that I want to complete is to click the Edit button for the user Jane Doe on the right-hand side. Of course, if the data were always going to remain static on the page, I could just say look for the third row under the header and select the Edit button within the third row. However, for this particular test case, I want to find the user Jane Doe wherever she falls within the table, and the order of the data in this table shifts around every time the page is refreshed. So I'm going to have to confine my search for that row using a unique identifier other than its position in the list. In this case, it might be her first name, Jane. So the Action Mode Constraint is the perfect solution. I'm going to go over to my Edit Jane Doe test case in Tosca, and I have already created a test step called Click Edit Button, which I'm now going to expand, and I'm going to be steering this table. I will be identifying the row based on the value in the first name column. So in the cell underneath the row, I'm going to select first name. This value was created during my scan of the module. And I want Tosca to look for the first name with the inner text equal to Jane. But I'm not verifying that the inner text is equal to Jane. I want to constrain my search so that I can perform another function on the row once it's found. So I will change the action mode to constraint. And what this is telling Tosca to do is constrain my search for the row to a user with the name Jane in the first name column. Then, once that row is found, I want to jump over to the action column within the same row, and I'm going to focus on that or select it, and then click on the Edit button. Okay? I'm going to do a UI click so that you can watch it actually happening on the screen. So the row I leave with the dynamic title row because Tosca is going to determine which row to steer based on my constraint, and then go to the action column within that found row and click on the Edit button. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this step in the Scratchbook. And as expected, the test case passes. And Tosca was able to find the user Jane Doe. Now let's think of a little bit of a more complex example. So that was a constraint for just one cell in my data row, Jane, because Jane was a unique first name. What if I'm looking for John Doe? In this case, the first name John is not enough to uniquely identify the data row, and neither is the last name Doe. You can see that there are two users with the last name Doe. And even the email, john@example.com, is the same as the user John Little. So how can I find this person? Well, if you look at the set of data, the combination of the first name and last name, John and Doe, is actually the best way to uniquely identify this person. So actually, I have two constraints. This is super simple. You just create multiple test step values with the action mode constraint, letting Tosca know how to limit its search for the particular row. And it will join the constraints. So it will say, look for the row with first name, inner text equal to John, and last name, inner text equal to Doe. And once you've found a row that meets both of those constraints, where both constraint equals true, then go to the action column in that row and click the Edit button. Again, just like I did before, select the cell action mode select, because I'm not doing anything with the column itself. I want to use the embedded button within the cell, and then action mode input and click. And here we will run the test case in the Scratchbook. The test case passes, and I've completed my obstacle successfully. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching this tutorial. Here at the Tricentis Academy, we aim to provide you with educational services that suit your needs, including role-based trainings where you can become certified specialists, video tutorials, MOOCs and more. To learn more about the Academy, visit www.tricentis.com/academy.